I bet you've watched a training from a guru saying you shouldn't niche down, and then the next one says you should niche down. So what is it? Well, I am here to share with you when I finally niche down. I went from not making any money for 6 years to hitting six figures in the first 90 days. And now I'm coming up on 8 figures as a company. So all on social media. I believe in the power of niching down. And what people don't realize is that if you aren't clear, your avatar isn't going to be clear. Your audience isn't going to be clear. So we're going to dive into exactly how to niche down so that way you can really maximize this powerful strategy in your business. To niche or not to niche? That is the burning question, or niche, whatever you want to call it. So this is the thing. People will tell you don't need to niche down, and that is absolutely bad information. And what I mean by that is when you're first starting out, which if you're watching this, even this topic here, most likely you haven't nailed your niche yet, or you're wondering, do you have to really get specific on who you're serving and your language around that on social? I'm going to break that down for you. The truth is, if you're newer and you're building and you don't have sales from your brand every day, you do need to niche down. If you're someone like me who's built a multi-million-dollar brand, I could literally tell you right now in this video that I am now launching a coffee brand, which I'm not. However, if I was, I could literally sell that right now. That coffee has nothing to do with me teaching women how to make money from their brands every day on social. Does that make sense? So you want to think about it that way. So when it comes to niching down, why it's important is because when you're on social media, you need to let these platforms know what you're about. Even LinkedIn, when they reset their algorithm earlier this year, that was what they said when they announced the changes and people were reviewing and auditing, that those that had niched down on a specific topic, their content was going to be pushed to the top of the newsfeed. This is all platforms. So these platforms need to know what you're about. They need to understand your content. And the only way that the social media platforms are going to understand that, and we'll talk about obviously your avatar as well, is that's the first step. We need you to be seen. You can make content all day long, but if people aren't seeing your content, you're going to get really frustrated. You're going to get burnt out. You're going to maybe quit or do the worst thing ever, which is the stop, go dance. And I see this all the time on social media. So with the platforms, if you are getting clear on your content, so let's say you do a reel and you write words on the screen of the video itself. And then in the caption, you're using certain language. Obviously, hashtags are important. People will tell you they're not. They are. It's not an end all be all, but they do help. And then SEO, you can actually put SEO keywords and just write them at the bottom of your reel captions or TikTok or whatever you're doing. When you do that, those platforms can put your content in front of people who are digesting similar content. Okay. Have you ever wondered how you get your feed curated, right? So if you want to get in front of your ideal avatar who's also digesting similar content, you're going to want to start with niching down with your content. Now, the second phase to this, and just as important, and this is for offline and online, when you get niche down, I think it sounds better. I don't know. I like niche, so it's French or something. Now, why this is important is because if somebody is on social media and they're scrolling, because let's face it, you've got a couple of seconds to get their attention. If that, they're just going to whiz on by your content. When they see your content, they have to immediately feel like you have something for them. Okay. And I always teach this in our trainings. Your job is to get people to stop the scroll. That's the first job, whether it's a reel, whether it's a static post, whether it's a YouTube video like this, stop the scroll. The second job that you have is to get people to go from watching the video or looking at the image to the caption. That's your next job. And then the next job, the final job is to the next step is to get them to comment. If you can do that, get them to stop the scroll, get them to read your caption and get them to comment, you have leads. That's how you make money every day in your brand. That's it. Okay. We call this the brand connect method. So when you're thinking about this and you want to stop the scroll, you have to put something in there that your ideal avatar says, ooh, tell me more, right? Let me read this caption. Let me stop on this video. When you do that with niching down, the person, just imagine they have on their forehead a sign that says, what's in it for me? That's all they care about. It's human nature. What's in it for you? Okay. So it's not about, your video being really fancy or anything like that. What it is about is that person feeling like they clearly know who you are, who you serve, and how you can help them. So if you can get clear on the immediate, write this down because this is different. If you can get clear on the immediate needs, the urgent needs, too many of you are too broad with your marketing. So you're like, I'm going to help you feel more confident or follow your passions. That's too broad. It's too vague. There's too many people saying that, and it's not clear enough. You want people to actually take action on your content, which means they stop and look at the video or read the caption and comment. If you want them to do that, then you have to have something in that video that gets them saying, this is for me. Okay. The only way you're going to do that is if you can solve and get their attention with an immediate and urgent need that they have. It cannot be broad. It needs to be specific. So niching down is, yes, you work with females and they are, 35 to 55. It's not all women. Okay. You need to niche down a little bit. The reason why is because if you are speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. It's that important to get specific, but you don't want to get so specific that you have 5 people to talk to. So I've seen people get coached to niche down to, you work with women who are lactating and they're vegan and they live in New Jersey. Like, you could do that, but you're going to have 5 people to talk to. Maybe there's more in New Jersey. I don't know. So think about that. You want your niche to be specific, but not so specific that you don't have anyone to talk to. You don't want it to be too broad that you don't have anybody, or you have too many people and no one feels like you're for them. Whenever you've heard a message, and maybe something I've taught, or, this happens to me when I go to church, the pastor, I feel like he's talking to me sometimes. You ever have that happen where you're just like, how does he know, right? That's what you want. You want your avatar to digest your content and something lands with them where they're like, wow, she knows me. That is the clarity that we're looking for. I promise you, if you spend the time to get the clarity on your brand and make sure your content is targeted messaging for your avatar, and then do that, you're going to get leads, you're going to get sales. And that's what we teach with the Brand Connect method. As you can see, Goal Digger, it's very important and essential to take the time to get the clarity when it comes to your niche, so that way you can implement this powerful strategy in your business. And we want to thank you for watching. So look below this video, you'll see a special gift from me. Subscribe and you can browse our channel. We have thousands of videos. Look at the playlists and different areas of your business that might help you to really narrow in on what you need right now. Subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos, and take a screenshot. Throw it in your stories and tag me at the Goal Digger Girl. I would love to give you a shout out for doing that. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you soon.